Brand New Man, I think, and Next Broken Heart were our first two #1s. By the time that third single, Neon Moon, came out, if you're playing that stuff live, they were loving it. And I'm like, okay, it's a freaking hit.
Yeah.
A packed arena, the crowd roaring, and the unmistakable chords of Boot Scootin' Boogie filling the air. Then, on April 3rd, 2025, Ronnie Dunn, the soul of Brooks and Dunn, steps back mid-song, his hand on his chest, and walks off stage. 30 million albums sold, decades of memories woven into every note, and now, a moment that stops hearts. Is this the end for country's greatest duo, or is something bigger unfolding? Let's unravel the truth together. Something wasn't right that night in Indianapolis, and the crowd could feel it. On April 3rd, 2025, the Gainbridge Fieldhouse pulsed with the kind of energy only a Brooks and Dunn concert could ignite. Fans, draped in denim and cowboy hats, filled every seat, their voices rising in a chorus of nostalgia as the duo took the stage. The air crackled with anticipation, each note a time machine to road trips, heartbreaks, and backyard barbecues. But beneath the bright lights and familiar melodies, a shadow loomed, one that would leave fans whispering and wondering long after the final chord. What happened on that stage would spark a wave of concern, and the truth behind it might just change how you see this legendary duo forever. The night kicked off like a dream. Brooks and Dunn, with their signature blend of honky-tonk swagger and heartfelt ballads, had the crowd in the palm of their hands. Songs like My Maria and Neon Moon poured out, each one a reminder of why they've been country music royalty for over 3 decades. The audience swayed, sang, and raised their phones to capture the magic. It was the kind of night where time seemed to pause, where every lyric felt personal. But as the setlist rolled on, a subtle shift began to ripple through the venue. Ronnie Dunn, usually a powerhouse of charisma, seemed different, less animated, his movements slower. Could it be the weight of the tour, or was something deeper at play? Then came the encore, the moment every fan waits for. The opening chords of Boot Scootin' Boogie erupted, and the crowd lost it. This wasn't just a song, it was a cultural cornerstone, the anthem of line dancing dreams. Voices roared, boots stomped, and the energy was electric. But halfway through, Ronnie stepped back from the mic, his voice trailing off. "Sing it if you know it," he said, a smile masking something heavier. The crowd cheered, thinking it was a playful moment. Then he gestured to Kix Brooks, tapped his chest twice, shook his head, and walked off the stage. No drama, no explanation, just a quiet wave goodbye. The silence that followed was deafening. What could make a legend like Ronnie Dunn walk away mid-song? Social media lit up almost instantly. A TikTok video from user at Malona Radio captured the moment, racking up over 86,000 likes and a flood of comments. He looked exhausted, like he could barely breathe, one fan wrote. Another posted, "I've seen them dozens of times and I've never seen Ronnie like that. It broke my heart." The clip spread like wildfire, each view amplifying the question on everyone's mind. Is Ronnie okay? The internet buzzed with speculation, from whispers of a minor illness to fears of something far more serious. But the truth, as it often does, lay in the months leading up to that fateful night. At 71, Ronnie Dunn has been fighting battles off stage that few fans fully grasped. Just a month before, in March 2025, he was blindsided by a brutal combination of COVID-19 and strep throat. For a singer whose voice is his lifeline, this was no small setback. Doctors ordered complete vocal rest for nearly 2 weeks, a torturous pause for someone whose life revolves around music. Antibiotics and steroids helped, but the virus lingered, leaving his lungs weaker than before. In a candid interview with Country Music Weekly, Ronnie admitted, "I'm still wrestling with some breathing issues from COVID." The frustration in his voice was palpable, a man yearning to reclaim the stage but held back by his own body. Could this explain that moment in Indianapolis? But the health struggles didn't start there. Rewind to December 2024, when Ronnie faced another hurdle. A skiing trip in Colorado, a passion he's long cherished, took a painful turn when he caught an edge on ice and tore his ACL. The injury led to major knee replacement surgery, a grueling process for anyone, let alone someone in their 70s. His daughter shared a video on Instagram, showing Ronnie with a walker just 12 hours post-surgery, a testament to his resilience, but also a stark reminder of his vulnerability. 8 weeks of recovery, he posted, joking about changing his song lyrics to "I probably shouldn't ski anymore at 72. Yet, even as he pushed through physical therapy, the road to recovery was far from smooth. That night in Indianapolis wasn't just a random moment. It was the culmination of months of physical strain. Fans who watched closely noticed signs earlier in the show. During Rock My World, Little Country Girl, Ronnie sat on the stage risers, a rare sight for a performer known for commanding every inch of the spotlight. His voice, usually a soaring force, cracked on the high notes, betraying the effort it took to keep going. One fan on X posted, "He was giving it his all, but you could see the pain in his eyes." Another commented, "I just want him to be okay. He's given us so much." The love for Ronnie poured out online, a testament to the deep bond fans share with Brooks and Dunn. Kix Brooks, ever the professional, didn't let the moment derail the show. As Ronnie exited, Kix carried on, his voice steady, his energy unwavering. He led the crowd through the rest of the encore, ensuring the night ended with the same spirit it began. It was a display of the partnership that's defined Brooks and Dunn for over 30 years, a bond forged through countless tours, 20 #1 hits, and a 2019 Country Music Hall of Fame induction. But even Kix's strength couldn't quiet the questions swirling in the aftermath. When USA Today reached out, a representative offered a brief statement. Ronnie wasn't feeling well, but the next show went on as planned. It was meant to reassure, but for those who saw the video, it felt like only part of the story. The incident sparked a wildfire of speculation. Is Ronnie seriously ill? Could this be the end of Brooks and Dunn's legendary run? Fans weren't just worried about the music, they were worried about the man who's been the voice behind their most cherished memories. Brooks and Dunn's songs have been the soundtrack to countless lives, from first loves to late-night drives. Seeing Ronnie walk off stage, vulnerable and human, hit like a punch to the gut. It was like watching a beloved mentor admit they can't keep up anymore. Yet, there's something profoundly moving about that honesty. A reminder that even icons face their limits. The saga of country music is a tapestry woven with grit, heart, and unbreakable spirit, and few threads shine as bright as Ronnie Dunn's. Picking up where we left off in Part 1, the towering half of Brooks and Dunn has carried the torch of their legacy through decades of dusty trails and roaring crowds. Yet, as the Neon Moon Tour swept across the nation in 2025, a shadow began to creep over the stage. Fans, still buzzing from the duo's electric return, couldn't shake a gnawing feeling that something was shifting. Ronnie, the man whose voice once tamed wild hearts and filled arenas with thunder, was fighting a battle no one saw coming. What would it take to dim that legendary light? And why does it feel like the answer is closer than ever? This isn't a story of surrender. It's a testament to a warrior's soul. Late in 2024, a ski slope in Colorado turned treacherous, leaving Ronnie with a wrecked knee and a torn ACL. Surgery came fast, pinning him down for 8 weeks of rehab that tested every ounce of his resolve. Most would have called it quits, but Ronnie? He's carved from the kind of steel that doesn't bend. With the Reboot 2 tour looming, he clawed his way back, still limping through therapy as he stepped into the spotlight. Fans caught glimpses of the struggle, his right leg dragging, his frame braced against stage risers, anything to keep the music alive. It was raw, unfiltered dedication, the kind that makes you wonder, how much can one man give before the cracks start to show? Those cracks weren't just physical, they echoed in the very sound that defined him. Ronnie's voice, a deep, soul-stirring force that carried hits like Neon Moon and My Maria, began to waver. Vocal experts and eagle-eyed critics picked up the shift, breaths growing shallow, notes that once soared now trembling under strain. It wasn't just time catching up. COVID, strep throat, and that brutal surgery had piled on, a triple threat in mere months. At 71, Ronnie retooled the playbook, tweaking arrangements and leaning on sound crews to soften the load. Yet in clips from recent shows, you can hear it, the chorus's labor, the magic fights to break through. For a man whose legacy rests on that voice, it's a quiet tragedy unfolding in plain sight. Could this be the moment that changes everything? The whispers grew louder with every performance. Fans aren't just listeners, they're detectives piecing together clues from every faltering note. "Is Ronnie okay?" they murmured online, their voices tinged with worry and wonder. Industry watchers fueled the fire, tossing out theories. Was this a sign Brooks and Dunn's reign was winding down? The duo's future hung like a storm cloud over Nashville, and yet Ronnie stayed silent. No grand statements, no pleas for pity, just a cowboy showing up night after night for the folks who've sung his songs through life's highs and lows. That stoic grace only deepened the mystery. What's he holding back, and how long can he carry this weight alone? Then came Indianapolis, April 3rd, 2025, a night that stopped hearts. Mid-encore, as Boot Scootin' Boogie pulsed through the crowd, Ronnie faltered. His voice broke. His hand tapped his chest, and with a faint wave, he slipped off stage. The arena froze, a sea of cheers dissolving into stunned silence. It was a scene that begged a question. What just broke in that moment? His body, his spirit, or something bigger? Within hours, the internet erupted, not with rumors, but with love. Brooks and Dunn's Instagram became a sanctuary of support, fans pouring out their souls. "Sending healing vibes your way," one wrote. "Feel better, Ronnie," another pleaded, exclamation marks piling up like prayers. It wasn't about a missed song. It was about a man who'd soundtracked their lives, now vulnerable in a way that hit home. TikTok amplified the emotion, a clip from radio host Matt Malone rocketing to 86,000 likes. There was Ronnie, urging the crowd to sing, then quietly handing off the reins, a dignified exit that spoke volumes. "Thanks for giving us all you could," Malone captioned, and fans echoed it. Hashtags like #RonnieStrong stitching a quilt of loyalty across the platform. From the seats in Indy, one fan typed, "You were unreal last night. My first show, a dream come true. Get well soon." The love was palpable, a lifeline thrown to a legend in distress. But even as hope flickered, Ronnie crushing it in Peoria the next night, darker questions lingered. Was this a blip or a sign of a storm brewing? A hush fell over the country music realm as whispers turned to wails. Newsstands blared tales of Ronnie Dunn's devastating condition, stirring a tempest of anguish among fans who'd swayed to Brooks and Dunn's melodies for ages. Across digital plains, heartfelt pleas and cherished recollections flooded feeds, as if the heartbeat of Honky Tonk itself teetered on the edge. Yet, amid this swell of sorrow, a lifeline surfaced. With the calm of a seasoned trail guide, the duo's spokesperson unveiled the reality. Ronnie faced a mere breath of trouble, a fleeting respiratory snag, far from the dire abyss fans feared. From Tennessee's rolling hills to every jukebox-lit dive, relief rippled outward, a quiet chorus of gratitude for the man whose voice had cradled their joys and woes. But as the dust cleared, a murmur persisted. What lies ahead for these titans of twang? The stage lights dimmed in Indianapolis that April night in 2025, and the air thickened with unease. Gainbridge Fieldhouse thrummed with eager souls as Boot Scootin' Boogie ignited the crowd, only for Ronnie's timbre to waver mid-refrain. A hand to his chest, a shadow of strain, and he drifted off stage, leaving thousands in a stunned hush. Was this the crack that would shatter a legacy? The online world buzzed not with dread, but devotion. Instagram glowed with messages of hope. TikTok stitched together a tapestry of support, a radio host tribute clip soaring past 86,000 nods. Fans didn't mourn a lost note. They rallied for a man who'd scored their lives' highs and lows. Ronnie had stumbled, sure. Earlier that year, a Colorado ski slope had claimed his knee, an ACL torn and replaced, 8 grueling weeks of rehab trailing behind. Yet here he was, bracing against the stage's edge, dragging a leg to keep the rhythm alive. What kind of soul presses through such shadows for a sea of strangers? The answer echoed in the duo's unyielding stride. The Reboot 2 tour, a roaring homage to their storied path, charged onward, undeterred by whispers of retreat. No grand exit loomed. Brooks and Dunn had just inked a fresh recording deal, a defiant pledge to their craft when others might have sought the solace of a Montana porch swing. Adjustments stitched the shows together, a leaner playlist, a harmony-rich backup crew, a pause woven into the high-octane pulse. These weren't concessions. They were proof of a bond forged in decades of dust and dreams. Ronnie, now in his 70s, could have hung his hat, but the call of the crowd pulled stronger than any ache. Night after night, he stood tall, a weathered troubadour whose grit outshone the spotlight. Doesn't that kind of fire make you wonder how deep the well of passion runs? Their saga stretched beyond the stage, a testament to authenticity in an era of gloss. Since the 90s, Brooks and Dunn had carved a groove in country's soul, hits like Neon Moon shaping a genre, their raw energy schooling a legion of hopefuls. Yet it wasn't just the tunes, it was the truth in every chord, a balm for a world weary of pretense. Ronnie's resolve shone brightest in the quiet battles, pushing past a body that begged for rest, proving legends don't fade, they adapt. The rumors of a final bow? Mere static. Through November 2025, the tour blazed on, a promise kept to fans who'd grown up with their anthems. Each gig was a brushstroke on a canvas of resilience, a reminder that heroes don't always ride off. They double down, guitars in hand, hearts laid bare. Success, though, paints its own portrait, and Ronnie's is framed in opulence few fathom dot tucked away from the glare. His life gleams with the spoils of a titan's toil. His driveway boasts a 1969 Mustang Mach 1, its rumble a match for his growl, beside a Tesla Model S, sleek and silent as tomorrow. A Rolex Daytona hugs his wrist, its gears ticking in sync with a life ruled by rhythm. His Nashville haven sprawls across acres, a retreat where echoes of past gigs hum, a Gulfstream jet poised for the next horizon. Songwriting riches and publishing stakes fuel a fortune, while a voice insured for millions, a literal golden throat, secures his legacy. Yet Ronnie's roots hold firm. Wealth is a footnote to the lives he's stirred, a lesson that true treasure lies in purpose, not possessions. As this tale's last strains linger, Brooks and Dunn stand not as relics, but as a living chronicle of spirit and song. Ronnie's odyssey, from arena peaks to hushed recoveries, mirrors the trials we all face, his strength a beacon in the fray. The duo's harmony has scored decades, a thread in the fabric of countless stories, and they're not unraveling yet. So let their road spark yours. Tap that like if their ballads ever tugged your heart, drop a memory below, and subscribe for more sagas of soul and steel. In their own words, the road goes on forever, and the party never ends. But what will you carry from their journey into yours? As we close the curtain on this chapter of Brooks and Dunn's storied journey, one truth shines through. Their music is more than melodies. It's a lifeline. When Ronnie Dunn stepped off that Indianapolis stage, hearts across the country music world trembled. But what followed was a testament to the power of connection. Fans flooded social media with love, their messages a chorus of gratitude for a duo that soundtracked road trips, heartbreaks, and honky-tonk nights for over 3 decades. Despite battles with illness and injury, Ronnie's grit and Kix's unwavering support kept the show alive, proving that legends don't fade, they adapt. Their 2025 Neon Moon Tour, blazing through cities like Lubbock and Louisville, shows they're still kicking, with new music on the horizon to cement their legacy. This isn't a farewell, it's a promise of more anthems to come. If their story stirred your soul, drop a like, share a memory in the comments, and subscribe for more tales of music's giants. Our next video dives into another icon's saga. Don't miss it. In the world of Brooks and Dunn, the road goes on forever, and the party never ends.